get a lot of questions now on how I do my MIDI. I'm going to show you one little piece of this. I'm just going to show you the software that I use to create the lights that go on my keyboard. Let me demonstrate what I mean by that. When I'm playing a piece, you see the lights that come up. Those are not a part of the actual keyboard I'm playing. These are a part of a MIDI program. The program I use is called Wispbow FreePiano 2. First thing though, before I show you the program, is you do need one thing. You do have to connect a MIDI cable from your keyboard to a computer. What this means is you can't do this on an acoustic, fully acoustic piano or something that is just acoustic. It has to have some sort of MIDI output, or there is no way to actually do this efficiently. It needs the cable so that it has an instant connection so that you get the lights to light up instantly. The kinds of cables you need are a USB cable. You would need one of these three kinds of cables. It's USB-B to A, USB-B to C, or USB-C to C. Now you notice I didn't say USB-A to A, and you may not even know what any of that means. So I will list that in the comments. So on to how it works with this software. All right, well, this is the software that I use. I'm going to still show you my keyboard, my real piano at the bottom, so you can see what's going on. So you see it lighting up there. This is a full view of the software. So then when you install the software, it should automatically detect your MIDI device if you've plugged it in correctly. Now, one little thing about this software is that the last update done on this software was over 10 years ago, but it still works perfectly. So why not use it? One of the first things you might want to do is to make sure the instrument is selected correctly, your MIDI instrument. So what might be happening is if you are doing this and you don't see anything, is it may be mapping to a different MIDI device. Your MIDI device may be automatically already mapping to something else. Mapping meaning it's being used by another software that you're using. MIDI can only be used by one software at a time. So one way you can do it is you can come over here and click instrument, and unfortunately right now the way I have it set up you won't be able to see the menu that comes up, so I'll show you a second way to do it, but this is the easy way to do it. Click here, choose the instrument, see if it works. If not, maybe just try a simple technique of closing all the programs that you have open, reopen this program and see if it works. You can also go into the tools menu here. This tools menu has devices, a GUI, options, and record. And under devices, if you scroll all the way to the bottom here, it will show the USB MIDI, which is generally what it should say. It's just USB-MIDI. It's not going to name your device necessarily. It might, but it probably won't name your device, whether it's Kawai, Yamaha, Roland, or whatever. And you can make sure it says map to inputs. I have two MIDI devices. One is my Focusrite. A Focusrite is a MIDI device also. Now with a MIDI keyboard, the Focusrite, if you have a Focusrite or a Zoom or something like that, it can be selected and the keyboard may still work. So you may not have to do anything. Just make sure it says map to inputs. Last little other thing that you might want to do is you might notice that if I hit very softly, it turns a light yellow. Harder, it turns orange. If you want it to always be the same like light up color, same amount of color, then you have under the GUI, you have keyboard color, and I have it set to velocity. If you set it to classic, notice I'm playing softly, loud, makes no difference to the color or the intensity of the color. Note display might be an interesting one if you're going to use this. Use your keyboard, meaning keyboard like this kind of keyboard, to have it play notes, which it can. By the way, you notice that it's actually lighting up notes. Now it's not making sound because I actually have the sound turned off on this, well, which I will show you that in just a moment. So it can do that. And how you can make it so this shows you what you need. Unfortunately, using Do or fixed Do, don't ask me why it says DOH. Do is DO. I have no idea why it calls it that. It doesn't seem to make a difference. So I'm not really sure why. I know what the difference is between the two. I don't really know how it can change it. But if you go to name, it uses the English, German option. I think the English one, yes, it uses the English because it does that. It does have B in here. And then you can see in here, it tells you exactly what note it's going to hit. So if you want middle C, now I know that middle C is Q. So I know where that is. Now, why would you want this? I have no idea. It's just kind of a neat little feature. Last little thing that I think is incredibly important is in here in the settings here, the sound settings. There's a lot of options you can have in here. And down here is a volume. I've already turned mine off. Volume is automatically set to all the way up. I turn it all the way down. The reason for that is every time you hit a key, the computer is going to play again that key that you just hit on there. It can also, I said one last thing, but this is my other one last thing, is this program can control your MIDI device. It can go both directions with a MIDI cable, which can be kind of cool. It can be a little annoying. And what that means is if I turn the volume on, it can actually make it so my keyboard, my Kawai CS10, can make the sound that I click on, which I find kind of interesting. So it's actually playing the sounds through the speakers of this piano. So if I record something in this, I can have it play back through my piano speakers. I think I got to everything necessary that you would need for understanding how to use this program. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. Like I said, it hasn't been updated in over 10 years. It is not my software. I did not develop it. I am not a developer or coder in any way whatsoever. So I can answer most questions you might have about it, though, if you are curious about how something might work. In another later video, I will show how I set it up through software for multi-camera use. I use two different softwares, and I'll show you how each of those works differently to show multiple cameras.